and they kind of lost their way, the Thunder, I reckon. They started panicking a little bit and trying to blast him out, or just lost concentration, which can easily happen when you're under an onslaught like that. And it probably really needed someone just to pull them aside and just slow the game down and change things up a bit. I'm Ian Hawkins, and this is Sport is Life. The purpose of sport, as I see it, is to see your vision become a reality. Find your voice, create strong connections, and learn to trust your body. Mate, how good was that? The Hurricanes absolutely demolished the Thunder. I've got to be honest, when the Thunder were batting and none for 100, saying it's going quite well. It was a flat pitch, mind you, but it's like, oh, wow, like they're a big chance here. But then, wow, like what a fight back. Nathan Ellis with the bowling, pegged them back, took crucial wickets, and then Mitch Owen, like what a display of hitting. Unbelievable. Now, I've got to be honest, Sixers fan, I was out Monday night, got home, the game was halfway through. I hadn't given it a great deal of thought, but I started getting messages. And my son was the same. He hadn't really thought about it either. He'd get a message, this is ridiculous, what's going on? And so he put it on and, carnage. By the time it was only 2.5 overs in and he was already, he must have been nearly 50. I can't remember the details. By the time we'd had a quick look back, tuned in again, he's up to 70 and just smashing it. And I love the backstory. The young fella, the photo of the young fella, Mitch Owen, as a young fella in the crowd 10 years earlier, just like we all were as kids, loving the atmosphere, loving the moment, maybe dreams of one day being out there doing that sort of thing themselves, yourself. And then he got to do that. And what an innings. It's a sort of moment back in my Fox Sports days where we would have looked up the number of viewers and there would have been a clear spike as his innings got underway, as people did exactly what our mates did, just started texting, passing messages on to people and go, are you watching this? Or if you're not watching this, you've got to be watching this, because it was an unbelievable display. It made me start thinking, what is actually possible? Because think of the one-day game, how it's evolved. We thought, getting off to anything over 5 and over was pretty good in the first 15 overs. Actually, there was a time where not losing any wickets and 4 and over in the first 15 overs was pretty good, and then that improved over time. But then the introduction of 2020s brought an exponential increase in the speed at which these batters are able to increase the run rate. Incredible that it's halfway through the fourth over and he's on 60, or the score's on 60 already. Like, I can't remember the exact figure once the end of the power play, but crazy. So yeah, what's possible? And I would have loved to have seen what the data was, but there definitely would have been a spike. People would have been tuning in all over the place as word got around. Also, like I said, backstory, apparently he's been going right for a couple of years, and there's opportunities for him to go to other franchises. But Ricky Ponting, who's obviously a Tasmanian legend, was part of the team putting the Hurricanes team together, and sold the vision of being the importance of being the Tasmanian that stays with that team and the impact. And mate, what an impact! He was clearly already confident he'd got a fair few runs in the tournament, but just how it unfolded. They got a bit lucky the first couple of balls. They had the wide down the leg side. Maybe that took a bit of pressure off, but then he gets one away and then suddenly it's like they don't know where to bowl to him. And it was really interesting to watch how the commentators kept saying, they're not there's no off-pace bowling here. They brought on the spinner, but like they said, there's no point bringing the spinner on if he's just going to bowl quick. You need to mix it up, and they kind of lost their way, the Thunder, I reckon. They started panicking a little bit and trying to blast him out, or just lost concentration, which can easily happen when you're under an onslaught like that. And it probably really needed someone just to to pull them aside and just slow the game down and change things up a bit. It's been 40 degrees here. I've just noted the cold change has just hit, so I might be quick in case I start getting hail on this roof. But yeah, like the crowd going crazy, like them chanting Mitch Owen's name like it was a basketball crowd. Haven't seen that sort of like home team going that crazy. Might be standard fare in the IPL because they're pretty keen on it, but in Australian crowds, it's not something I've seen the likes of. So it really created that community, that connection. And I reckon, like, if talking about performance, clearly there was a good fight back from the Hurricanes in their bowl innings and Nathan Ellis in particular, taking crucial wickets and slowing down the rate of scoring. But sometimes it's just a freakish moment from an individual, like there was from Owen, where just everything came off. He wasn't necessarily hitting them all in the middle, but he was finding the gaps. He hit 11 over the boundary, so it wouldn't matter where the gaps were for that one, but just in the zone. So he was confident because he'd got runs before. He had clearly had a simple plan. He wasn't playing any of the ramp shots. He wasn't playing limited inventive shots. He was a lot of good cricket shots. Some of them were slogs and heaves, but he kept a still head. He was pretty relatively normal stance, and just goes to show that there's many ways to play the game, even in this new age where they've invented new shots and created all sorts of different scoring avenues. I'd love to hear people's thoughts. Where were they? Were they watching? Did they get the message? Did they see something on social media and then jumped on and had a look? What did you think of it? Was there anything the Thunder could have done? I know some of my mates would be looking there going, yeah, they definitely could have mixed things up. And I'd have to agree. I think the Thunder lost their way a bit. But if we just look at it for what it was, just an incredible moment, the sort of things that only sport can do, just create those moments where, huge high performance, and you can't help but just look back and admire it and be excited by it. The only people that probably aren't excited by it are the Thunder fans, but even some of those guys would have to begrudgingly acknowledge just what a incredible display it was. The power of sport, eh? I'll leave it there for today. Let me know your thoughts if you have any feedback, anything that you liked about the game, any ideas you might have about how things could have gone differently, and just in general about what a display it was. Speak to you in the next one. You've taken the time to listen to this whole episode. Now it's time to take action. Commit to one thing you've learned today and make it happen. And to avoid any obstructions, join the Sport is Life movement by clicking on the link in the show notes.